Welcome. Welcome. I woke up at 1 o'clock today. 1 o'clock. Yes, I went to sleep at 4 a.m. and I rolled out of bed at a nice 1 p.m. today. So I'm a little bit tired, but we're here. We are here for the people. The people demand extra shows. I have delivered on the people's demands. I hit over 14,000 followers.
Hey, we love to see it.
Yeah, follower count is such an irrelevant metric. It tells you nothing about how good an analyst is, really. I don't think I've become a better analyst than I was 10,000 followers ago. But, just tells you, I guess it tells you a little bit, but, there's some real gems. There are some real gems who don't have enough followers, including my current co-host.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you don't have enough followers. I think you should have more.
I don't tweet enough to have enough followers.
You don't promote yourself.
I don't tweet at all, really.
Why not?
I'm just like, didn't we have this talk last time? Teach me how to social media one of these days.
Me?
I mean,
Me?
I
What do
talked
I know
to Luke
about
about it.
social
I talked
media?
to Luke. Luke's the guy.
You could talk to Luke. I mean, but
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
yeah, neither you
Yeah.
nor me is going to be that. So, you're probably better off following my path than Luke's. I don't think you want to be on social media, knowing you. I don't think you want to be on social media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That doesn't sound like
Luke's a machine.
your jam.
That's all I'll say. He's a machine.
Yeah, no, when social media is your platform, your primary platform, then you are obviously going to be better at it than someone like me, where Twitter is like my fifth priority. So, I do the best with what I can. But I've started becoming what I would call a little bit unleashed. Like with that status about Allen Robinson, who hopefully we'll get to today.
Oh boy.
So I'm sure the people already know, but tell them about your work. The Vipers.
Yeah, you could find my rare tweets. Yeah, we could say it like that. Down at the down here, and you can find my writing work at the Dynasty Vipers. I'm getting on track over there, and then Sunday mornings, even though I'm gonna miss the next two, with the start sits with Matt and Spencer.
You're gonna miss them. Oh,
Yeah.
Spence was on this channel on Tuesday.
I know. I was in for both of them. He's in last week as well.
We talked about your guys' show.
The scheduling is hard.
We did cover that, yeah. All right, we already have someone. There's someone they want to know. They have a question. They're a little bit stumped. Pick two of these. So these are DK from Bryan, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Darrell Williams, or T. Higgins. Seems interesting.
It's very interesting. I mean, I think you can't sit Metcalf. The problem with Metcalf is his quarterback, not the talent, or it's not the talent, but the situation, like Allen Robinson, even his teammate Tyler Lockett, because at least Geno Smith is looking Metcalf's way in the clutch situations. And then the next one's kind of harder. It's not going to be T. Higgins. T. Higgins, I still have at wide receiper 23. I just think I have the other players higher.
I have him at 24.
There we go.
We tend to be
There we go.
most of the time.
I think I might go Darrell Williams. Like, Darrell Williams just got that role.
Might go Darrell Williams. You have to. Darrell Williams is the first choice of these players. Darrell Williams is a stone cold lock this week. I have him at RB7.
Okay. I wasn't phrasing my words right for where I had him ranked. I have him at RB11, so yeah, Darrell Williams.
I have him at 7.
Maybe RB1, yeah. Maybe start your RB1s.
I mean, he's playing Tennessee. Tennessee's defense can't stop anything. Nothing. They can't stop anything. They're incompetent at all levels. So, and Darrell Williams was better than Clyde. So, yeah, he's RB1. I'm not good Metcalf. as a second choice. If Sutton had a better matchup, I'd consider it. But Teddy's hurting. It's against Cleveland. I think the Broncos are going to be in a highly positive game script against Case Keenum. I have Sutton at wide receiver. We talked where I had Higgins. I have Sutton at wide receiver 19. So it's a tough week. I mean, you're starting him in most situations, just not this one.
We're in sync. I have him at 18, so we're pretty close so far. Good start. Good start in the similarities.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I do think, there's a lot of similarities, but also we need more people live in the chat. Let's see if we can do that. But anyway, people are going to be the end of me. Okay. So there are no more questions in the chat because, that's just life these days. But if there are going to be no more questions in the chat, luckily I came prepared.
You got a lot of questions on your...
33 of them. Let's start. Tecmo Bros. Donovan Peoples-Jones versus Denver, or Amon-Ra St. Brown versus the Rams.
This is tough because I don't know if there's a status update on Odell, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to play tonight.
I don't think Odell's going to play.
Nothing's official, but it's leaning towards a no. So he's going to line up at wide receiver 2. Jarvis Landry's coming off IR. I'm still going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown. He just gets the targets, and they're going to be in a very negative game script. And I'm at 40 and 44, so it's not like they're too far apart.
Yeah, I have, let's see. So I have Donovan Peoples-Jones at 51 and Amon-Ra at 42. So go Amon-Ra. Actually like his usage. Quintez Cephas is gone now, so they're going to be behind. I mean, they have to throw the ball. Yes. I'm not excited. These are not players I want to play.
Took him 3 quarters to get it to Amon-Ra last time.
Yeah, I know.
Target through 3 quarters.
Not that one. All right. Brian, Gesicki or Goddard, rest of the season?
I'd go Gesicki.
Really? Really?
Not a fan of Philly over here, even though I'm a Philly fan, if that makes sense.
I'll go Goddard. I'll still go Goddard. It was close. It's closer than it was, but still go Goddard. The reality is very true. If you would combine Goddard and Zach Ertz into one person, they're pretty good. They're very good, actually. The problem was that they weren't, and they were using 11 personnel. Now, Dallas Goedert should be an every down player. So I'll still go Dallas Goedert, but it's closer than you would have thought coming into the season. If I told you coming into the season that Zach Ertz would be traded, you wouldn't have these players would not be anywhere near each other. But Goddard has underperformed his expectations, and Gesicki has probably overperformed his. So it's a reasonable question, but I would still go with Dallas Goedert. I mean, if you look at the rankings rest of the season, right? So why don't we think about it this way? Number 1 is easy, right? Number 1 is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Number 2, rest of season for you would be who?
I think Waller's going to rebound.
Yeah, for me, Waller. Number 2. Then 3. Who would be 3?
I want to say Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts. I think those are my 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I think you could group them in the same order. I really want to say Kyle Pitts because I'm a little biased though. So I'll just go Mark Andrews. He's been hot.
Yeah, I would go Hawkinson, Andrews, Pitts but those are the clear 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. Then I would probably put Kittle in at 6, just with the idea that I'm going to rather any games from Kittle are going to be better than any games from anyone else. And then I would probably come to, you're deciding between Goddard, Gesicki, Fant, Knox, Schultz are kind of the next grouping. And I think I would have Goddard first of that group. And then probably Fant next. But it's close. Gesicki's in there. They're all very similar at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Okay, we have is this a Dynasty question? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have so from West Coast Chiefer. That's a good name. What's up? 12-team Superflex PPR. So a good question. I have an offer of a 22 first, top 6 pick, 22 second, top 6, so early picks, and Khalil Herbert for Saquon Barkley on a rebuild. Thoughts?
I'm going to need more.
But this is where we are.
I know.
This is where we are. This is the reality of the situation.
I'm going to still need more.
Need more?
Saquon's going to come back. I don't know when.
When is that going to be?
I don't know. I mean, you could still capitalize even off a name value when he comes back to play.
Man.
Someone's always going to want Saquon Barkley.
This is not anymore. Saquon Barkley is now, I think, more closely synonymous to Todd Gurley than he is to running backs you actually want. There are people who are just, I would say, about a third of people will just be never again, never again. And I'm in that group. I'm never again. I'm just, no, this guy is injury prone. You know, like Dalvin Cook before him. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not investing a ridiculous amount of capital, a high draft pick or multiple first round picks, rookie picks, into someone who's always injured, who cannot stay on the field. And it's been multiple years since he's provided difference-making upside for your fantasy team. He's had one difference-making season now. It'll be 1 in 4 years because this year is not going to count because it's been bad and then there were multiple games missed. So that's not going to be a difference-making season. So 1 in 4 is not good enough. That's a failure, right? I mean, you would consider one. I mean, look, consider Saquon Barkley's original price, right? If you told me that this was Saquon Barkley's career after drafting him likely at the 101 in 2018 Superflex leagues, there wasn't a top quarterback that year. He was the 101. There were obviously Allen and Jackson. There were, but they were not picked above him. Saquon was the clear 101, even in Superflex. And if you spent the 101 in Superflex on Saquon Barkley, and I told you this was his career, you would be very upset with that. That would not be acceptable. You would have probably picked a quarterback. You would have gotten it wrong and picked Baker Mayfield.
Right.
But
you picked Baker or Darnold, so you still would have gotten it wrong probably.
You would have gotten it wrong, but if I told you this was his career, you wouldn't have been happy with it. So, here we are, right? I mean, here we are. With this offer, I don't want to take it, but I would try to do a little better. I would try, to me, you're probably not going to get more in picks. I mean, you're probably not going to get 2 firsts in Herbert. My goal would be to try to improve Herbert to a piece that I actually want on a rebuild. So if this were the 2 picks you're getting and Rondale Moore, but that's probably not realistic. You're probably not getting that. Like, that's not going to happen. That's shooting too high. So how about Brandon Ayuk? Someone who I don't know what this guy has on their team, but Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, maybe Terrace Marshall even. I mean, it's better than Khalil Herbert. So I would try to improve Khalil Herbert to a better third piece if you have to do this. But in a rebuild, I want Barkley off my team immediately. I want him gone. So I'd like to make a deal instead of not making one. I don't want to see him come back because if he comes back and there's one more injury, then he's done. And then you're valuing him like you value J.K. Dobbins now. And that's not a high-end asset at all. So just keep that in mind. He's one more.
I want to know who has a top 6 pick and is dealing for Barkley. Are they just a contender that thinks that they're good enough?
They think Barkley's going to come back, and this is their way to fill a high-end running. They think they're filling a high-end running. They're not, but they think they are. I would never make this deal if I were a contender. I would never trade for Barkley. I wouldn't do that. But
I wouldn't either. Someone
might think that they're making a good deal, and I would take advantage of that person. From Brian, do you think Chase is a top 15 wide receiver the rest of the season? I almost thought Chase was a top 15 wide receiver in the draft season. So, yes, I think Chase is a top 5 wide receiver the rest of the season.
Coming into the season, I do have recorded proof of this. I had him at wide receiver 13 preseason. So, he's definitely...
I told you were crazy.
I feel that's the one thing I feel good about from this offseason. Everything else I got wrong.
You've been vindicated. I did think that was a little crazy.
I got everything else wrong, but this one feels good.
Look, someone in Fantasy Pros ECR ranked him at 4. Maybe they know something we don't.
I'm going to ask him for lottery numbers. That's what I'm going to ask him for.
Yeah, I mean, I have him top 5.
I agree.
Do I actually have him top 5? I don't know if I have him top 5. I mean, it's
close.
He's close.
He's closer to 1 than 15.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I have Adams 1, and to me, Adams is the clear 1. Clear. He's my wide receiver 1 rest of the season by a lot. I have Cooper Kupp at 2. And then if you wanted to have Chase at 3, I could have it. I mean, Tyreek Hill, I hope the squad injury isn't serious. Assuming he's completely healthy, he would be my 3. And then, yeah, if you want to have Chase at 4, I'm fine with that. Other contenders, and he's in a tier from 4 down with Stephon Diggs is in that group. Justin Jefferson is in that group. Diggs, Jefferson, Chase, Hopkins, sorta. Not really. I mean, I'd rather have Chase than Hopkins the rest of the season. Chase is probably top 7 then. I don't know if I'd have him at 4 or 7, but
doesn't matter.
He's a mid wide receiver 1.
It's a win at ADP, especially if you drafted when the drops were happening. Oh my gosh, I got him in the 6th round.
But, I mean, look at the situation, right? I mean, for this week, for example, he's playing Baltimore. I still have him ranked wide receiver 7 for this week. So if you're going to put someone in as a wide receiver 1, even in a bad matchup, then that means you really believe. Plus, what if he takes a leap forward in targets? You would think that's very possible, right?
He's what, wide receiver 5 right now with
something like that.
Targets?
Yeah, with not so many targets.
Oh my gosh. Don't let that happen.
Right? Let it happen. Yeah, let it happen. Okay, from Patrick, what are you expecting from Sutton tonight? Are you buying, holding, or selling Sutton right now? What do you think?
I mean, I know what you're going with because there's a certain someone coming back.
Yeah, you know what I would say.
I mean, at least for tonight, I'm expecting a decent game. Like Tim Patrick's gonna have an all right game. Cortland Sutton's gonna have an okay game.
I mean, for this week, if you're in redraft, you have to start him. You're not going to have better options. If you have a wide receiver 19, you're going to be starting him in almost any situation.
He's going to have a decent week. I don't think he's going to drop a 30-point game or anything. He probably is going to now that I said that, but
no, I wouldn't expect it because I expect Denver to have a positive game script.
So I could see 15 to 17.
Sure. No, I think he'll have a fine game tonight. I'm not worried about him. In redraft, I'd probably just hold. I mean, you don't really do redraft trades very often, and you're probably not – people don't really think of him that highly, honestly. So in redraft, just hold. In Dynasty, I'd like to sell because Teddy Bridgewater's been bad, right? He's been bad. I mean, he was good the first 3 weeks, but now not so good the last 3, and then now an injury. So he looks limited. So he's not going to be – it's not going to make him better. He's not going to improve. He's not going to become better now that he's hurt. So – the problem is that Teddy Bridgewater just cannot support, and this is a run-heavy team too. Don't look at Teddy Bridgewater from 2020 with the Panthers after CMC went out. That's not telling you because they didn't run. They wanted to get away from the run as much as possible because Mike Davis was ineffective. And they used Curtis Samuel put up rushing production that counted as receiving production when it really wasn't. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to support Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Noah Fant, especially since Tim Patrick is not just going to disappear. He's good. Not as good as the other 3, but he's good. He's good enough to earn a certain target share. He's a good player, solid player. So that's the problem. I don't know which of Sutton or Fant will suffer. It'll be one of them. I don't know which. So I'd like to get out from both of them just in case, because I'm very confident one of them is going to lose a lot of value. I just don't know which it's going to be. I've leaned Fant forever, and I still lean Fant. But he is a tight end, and tight end is brutal. So it's very possible that what happens is that Sutton is more of a wide receiver 3 instead of a wide receiver 2. Fant is a low-end tight end 1 instead of a mid tight end 1. And Jerry Jeudy comes in as probably a wide receiver similar to Sutton, wide receiver 3 rest of the season. So in Dynasty, I guess that means I'd get out from Sutton because he's the oldest and also the one with the most injury history of the 3. So I guess I would sell. Tough to sell Sutton, though. He's not a popular player.
You're not wrong. I mean, if you're contending it, obviously hold for now, but
he's not a difference maker, though. I mean, you could sell him anyway.
See, you'll probably think I'm crazy for the offer that I turned down.
Well, what was the offer?
I turned down a 2023 first. See, that's what I said.
If I'm a rebuilder, I'll take it. Contender, I won't.
That's how I felt. I was just checking, seeing if I was crazy.
Yeah, rebuilder, I'll take it. Contender, I wouldn't. But yeah, for me, it's more like if I could turn Dynasty, if I could turn Cortland Sutton into T. Higgins, for example, I would like to do that. A much younger player who I have more confidence in moving forward, better quarterback. That would be the kind of move I might want to make. If I could, the big move I would like to do is if I could turn my biggest buy in Dynasty right now, Hollywood Brown. If I could turn Cortland Sutton into Hollywood Brown plus, I would do it. I would love to do it. People are like, Rashad Bateman is just going to come in and, now he's the wide receiver 1. No, he won't be. He didn't impress me at all because he led the team in targets and did nothing with them. That was supposed to be impressive. He looked fine. Woo. He played. Congratulations. But so I would love to do that. If I could turn Sutton into Hollywood plus. And believe me, you can get that deal done. People hate Hollywood Brown.
There's
one of my biggest
for everyone.
I want to buy Hollywood Brown right now. That's what I want to do. So there's some Dynasty advice for you.
There you go.
Would you trade Cooper and Mitchell for Chase?
Yes.
Yes. Whether even the Dynasty or redraft, yes. Cooper is someone I have concerns. Do you share those concerns?
I mean, yeah, he's banged up right now. CeeDee Lamb. Dalton Schultz has looked legit.
Well, I mean, how can you not be concerned? Amari Cooper.
Too.
Well, he hasn't produced really with Gallup out. And now Schultz has emerged. So Gallup coming back in is not going to help. That's only going to make it worse. So I have serious concerns with Amari Cooper. I'm just worried that it's going to kind of be CeeDee Lamb is consistent. Dalton Schultz is a tight end, so you can play him. And Cooper and Gallup just completely cancel each other out. And you're not really able to start either confidently. I mean, I think Amari Cooper will rank outside of wide receiver 2 territory once Gallup comes back. If he continues to play like this, he'll be more of a wide receiver 3 for me. I just haven't seen any reason why he should be ranked higher, personally.
See, I feel like this is like Amari Cooper-esque. Like, we do this, and then he comes back and drops that 40, 50-point game, and then it just,
The thing with Amari Cooper, though, is it's the same thing you're right. It's the same thing it's always been with Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper's 100% healthy and everything is perfect, then he's fine. But if there's even the slightest little issue, there's like one little injury, one problem, then he's completely ineffective. So I don't know what his injury is, but it seems like there's an issue, right? I mean, there has to be. We'll see if he comes back healthy out of the bye, but I am very concerned because Gallup is returning for week 8. Gallup will play in week 8. So I'm concerned about that.
100% or not, just that trade's a smash accept anyway.
Of course, yeah, of course. Even in redraft, if you would need running back heavily, I still got to take Chase there. He's a difference maker in that trade. Okay, from Andrea. Darrell Henderson or Cortland Sutton PPR? I assume this is start sit. Good question. It's a reasonable question. Where are you at on this one? Actually, no.
Darrell Henderson, easy.
Yeah, I have Darrell Henderson at RB6 for this week.
I have him higher. I'm at 3.
You have 3?
3. He has the matchup. He looked so good last week, and I just think the Rams are going to lean on him.
Yeah, my top 3 is just so locked in. I mean, I have Henry, Kamara, and Aaron Jones at 1, 2, 3. Just because Henry's
the guy.
Henry's got to be 1. And then Kamara is playing Seattle, who's depleted, and the Saints have no other weapons on either side, receiving or running. So he's going to get everything. And then Jones is facing Washington in what I think is going to be a run-heavy positive game script for them. So there's going to be a lot of running back touches to go around. So, but yeah, if you want to have Henderson at 4, I'd be fine with that. I don't really love Jonathan Taylor at the 49ers or DeAndre Swift at the Rams over. I mean, if you want to play Henderson at the against the Lions over them, I'd be fine with that. But, yeah, I have him at 6. So you're starting Henderson in all situations.
Yep.
If AB doesn't play, he will play. But we'll answer this question anyway. Need to flex Ramondre Stevenson or A.J. Dillon, half PPR. So this is a good question. What do you think about this one? 2 backup running backs.
I mean, I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon. He's been getting the touches over the weeks. I know Ramondre Stevenson has been as well, but Bill Belichick, it's the narrative. He's always been kind of unpredictable with the backfield. They're going to be in a good script as well. But A.J. Dillon just looked really good, actually, and I'm kind of shocked. Didn't see that one coming. Kind of.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. For the same reason I talk about Aaron Jones, I like A.J. Dillon. It's going to be run heavy against Washington. I think, you can play him. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't hate as a desperation play, but give me the guy in the Packers. Give me the guy in the Packers over the guy in the Patriots.
It's guaranteed work.
I think Ramondre Stevenson has guaranteed work. I think he does. I think he does. These guys are not far off in my rankings. I have Dillon at 30 and Stevenson at 33. I'm well above ECR and consensus on Stevenson this week, but I'm also above consensus on Dillon. So
I'm at 29 and 38, so I'm a little higher on Dillon.
Yeah, I definitely have them higher. I like both of these guys as a desperation play this week, and this is Bipocalypse. People are going to be desperate. People are going to need.
Yep.
Right, but people are going to need to play. This is a question. People could have this question, deciding between these two. So, very reasonable. From Patrick, does Drew Lock have any super flex value? I keep thinking just maybe Denver will go back to him, and just maybe he's actually a bit better to hold up QB2 value. Well,
there's 2 backup QBs in the league that I want on my dynasty rosters. One is Jordan Love, because Jordan Love was a first-round pick, and at some point he'll get to play. And this is just, my prediction that I think Dable's going to get a head coaching job and Mitch Trubisky is going to start somewhere else next year. I don't know where.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my 2. Those are the only 2 I want.
Yeah, Drew Disaster is a no-go for me. So, no, he's not better. And no, he will not have QB2 value. So just no. Bye week, yeah. This is a big one.
This is
okay. From BJ, trying to trade Fournette to contenders. Who should I look for in return? So obviously Dynasty. Then, what are you looking for in return for Fournette?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, would you take less than a first at this point with how he's been playing? I know he's older, but
well, let's say. It would be hard for me to even be in this situation because I would have dealt Fournette beforehand. But let's say I'm doing Patreon. Let's say someone signed up for my Patreon today, and they're not me, and they have a rebuilding team. They're 0-6, and they have Leonard. They just happen to have Leonard Fournette on that team. So because that's the only situation where you trade him. If you're a contender, you're not trading. You're keeping. So in that situation, I think I would take a couple of seconds if I had to. But I would if I'm in a rebuild, my first choice would be to go straight across for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do better that way.
T. Higgins come up again?
Maybe? No way. I think that's still unrealistic. I think that's still unrealistic. I think T. Higgins showed too much as a rookie. I don't think that a few bad games and one injury is going to be enough. That would be great. I mean, I think T. Higgins is the best name that you could possibly get in like a miracle situation. Yeah, 1 in 5 wide receiver are struggling. Okay, that makes sense. T. Higgins, I think, is like a miracle. Like if you get T. Higgins, like that is the best case scenario. More realistic, I think, is some of the guys I mentioned. Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, players that are not helping. Those players are not helping you right now. So maybe one of those.
You think Rondale Moore at this point?
I don't think so. I don't think
he showed enough in the first 2 weeks.
He showed too much. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Rondale Moore, he already has T. Higgins.
Oh, there you go. Good moves.
I would try. I mean, I would try for Rondale Moore, but I just don't think that's realistic. I do think Brandon Ayuk and Rashad Bateman are and now Kadarius Toney, now that he's injured, you might have an opportunity. Those three would be my first choices.
Yeah.
My first choice in a super flex would be to try to get a first. I'd rather a first over any of those players. I assume that that's going to be unlikely. So if you can't do that, then I would try for like Rondale Moore or T. Higgins, but you already have T. Higgins, but just generally. And then if you strike out on all of that and you have to settle, I'd rather those three players I listed, Bateman, Ayuk, or Toney, over settling for a couple of seconds. But I'd rather take a couple of seconds over making no trade at all. So that's my order of progression in this dynasty situation. How does that all sound to you?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I mean, Fournette's value is as high as it will be for the rest of his career. It's not higher than it was when he was getting drafted or coming out of college.
Oh, of course not, yeah.
But I definitely agree. I like Rashad Bateman a lot. I think that'd be my top target. I know we had a in-depth discussion about how he got the targets, but Hollywood Brown looked better. But I think you got to take chances on a 1-5 rebuilding team. And if Rashad Bateman hits, you'll be thanking yourself you made that trade.
Oh, I'd rather take a chance on Rondale Moore if I could.
Oh, I'm just saying realistically. I suggested Rondale Moore as a first option, but
you try it and see what happens. We'll see.
Rashad Bateman's my number one.
Just talk about Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman.
Ooh.
What do you think? Dearness Johnson from King Corey. Dearness Johnson or Rashad Bateman for the flex this week?
I think I might have to go Dearness Johnson. I have Rashad Bateman at wide receiver 42 and Dearness Johnson at running back 24 because it is so thin. So
yeah,
I take my chances and just see what tonight holds.
I'll take my chances with Rashad Bateman. I'll play Rashad Bateman. I have no confidence that Dearness Johnson is going to give me anything.
I do have the under tonight for his rushing yard, so I feel that.
I don't know.
I just don't trust Rashad Bateman either.
He's not going to get any receptions. I mean, if they're going to play him in the Nick Chubb role, I mean, you're lucky if he gets 2 catches. Demetric Felton is going to play a non-rushing version of the Kareem Hunt role. So Dearness Johnson's not going to get any catches. I'm fine playing him. I have him at running back 25, very similar to your rank. But I have Rashad Bateman a little bit higher than you. I have him at wide receiver 37. You said I think I probably have all the Ravens' weapons higher this week. Mm-hmm. I think that they're going to need to pass as much as they can to keep up with Cincinnati, to be honest with you. So I think there's going to be a passing week. Plus, if they don't have Latavius Murray, I really think they're not going to run the ball at all. I think Latavius Murray is the only one of their 4 running backs that they have even a tiny bit of confidence in. I think they have zero confidence in Devonta Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, or Tyson Williams. Notice that Tyson Williams was mentioned last of that because he's the one I think they have the least confidence in. But I would go with Rashad Bateman. It's very close, though. I don't really have much of a preference here, one way or another. And if it were half PPR, that would change me to go back to Dearness Johnson. That's how close it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. BJ says, thanks for the help. You're welcome. Okay, 12-team Superflex PPR. Do you trade Justin Fields for 2 2022 first mid-round picks? I have Herbert and Lance. I'm worried Nagy's going to ruin Fields. Thanks for your insight. Okay. Would you trade Justin Fields for 2 random firsts?
I don't think I would. I think you got to hold. You selected Justin Fields with premium capital. I know take lock is a thing, but this is a young quarterback. We got spoiled with Burrow and Herbert. You got to hold. Matt Nagy's going to get fired, right? Right.
Yeah.
Right. He has to.
I agree with you. I agree with you in that I have lowered Justin Fields' value. I have lowered it. I've given up on what certain podcast co-hosts of yours may or may not have said in the past. That we don't. These are minor details. That Justin Fields is going to be the best quarterback in that class. That looks like a laughable take. To me, that looks like a laughable take to me at this point. Justin Fields, I'm not even sure he's the second, third, or even 4th best quarterback in this. I don't know where he is. He's looked god awful. Awful. Honestly, him, Zach Wilson have looked awful. Trey Lance, incomplete. And Mac Jones has actually looked surprisingly competent. I'm not surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones is long-term the second best of this group. The only reason that I like Justin Fields in fantasy moving forward, if this is how he's going to play, is the rushing upside, which he has not shown. So, yeah, I have some serious concerns with Justin Fields. I have him ranked 24th overall in Superflex tight end premiums. That's still a late second round startup pick, but I used to have him as an early second round startup pick. He's lost a significant amount of value for me. And I'd rather go with safe veterans like Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson at this point over Justin Fields, just in case that he's a complete bust. With that said, this is a little short for me. The 2022 class is not going to have a stud quarterback in it that I know of. You're not going to get a good quarterback in the middle of it. You will not. You will not get a good quarterback at the 106 this year. You're not going. It's not going to happen.
No.
So I'm going to have to stick with Fields. But the offer is not unreasonable. The offer is not unreasonable. If those picks ended up being the 104 and 105 somehow, I would much rather that. But if you're telling me that it's probably going to be the 106 and 107, and that's what I have to assume, I'll stick with Justin Fields. But the offer's fair. It's totally fair. I don't think anyone would pay more. No one's paying 3 firsts.
No. And 4 months ago,
I mean, he's looked bad, right? I mean, he's looked bad. Mm-hmm. And I just, these are some of the concerns that I had personally, that I just thought that Trevor Lawrence was a far superior prospect. He was the one ready to play in the NFL, and the other ones, I had some doubts, and this was part of the doubt. I mean, maybe he just didn't display that he was as good as Trevor Lawrence. And, with anyone other than Trevor Lawrence, really, there's doubt. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the best rookie prospect ever, really. Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning and him are the 3. And with someone like Justin Fields, maybe we gave him too much, myself included, gave him too much value too quickly.
He was up there, but think about this 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. If you got offered this
you'd
trade,
laugh off this offer.
Exactly. You'd never even consider taking
But now it's reasonable. Yeah.
I still wouldn't do it, though.
Who are you more concerned with, Fields or Lance?
Probably Fields.
Me too.
Lance hasn't seen the field. I mean, he didn't look good in his one start. Arizona is a crazy good team. So, like, in your first start, that's rough.
I'm more concerned with Fields also. I'm more concerned with Fields because at the end of the day, yeah, the Bears traded up for him, but the Niners also traded up for Lance, and it's a difference committing the number 3 overall pick and committing the 11th pick. Those are not the same thing. Those are not the same. Those are not the same level of investment. Essentially, when you commit, I mean, the Bears front office and head coach are going to be fired anyway. But the Niners, even Kyle Shanahan, as much as whatever he is, as much of God as people may see him, and John Lynch, the GM, they will not survive Trey Lance failing. They won't. They will be fired if Trey Lance does not work out. So they have to make Trey Lance work out. Whereas the Bears could have a whole new front office who has no investment in Justin Fields at all. And, my level of concern with Justin Fields is high. I would not consider this offer for Trey Lance at all, whereas I would for Justin Fields. But I'll still decline it for now. But, if I could get out, if I could get one of these firsts and Mac Jones for Justin Fields and get out, I would happily do that. But I'd rather have Mac Jones over one of these mid picks at this point. So it's just not enough. It's just not enough. But I would be interested in moving on from Justin Fields if the right offer came. This just isn't it.
I don't think the right offer is going to come at all. At least till he has.
No, I don't think it will either. So I think you're going to have to hold and wait. But we'll see. What do you guys think of Nico Collins? I have him in my taxi squad. Do you like him for the future? Do you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he showed good promise. Oh, why not? He's on your taxi squad. You spent a rookie 3rd round pick on him. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, he looked good in his first real participation.
And gosh knows Brandon Cooks is going to be on another team soon. Probably. And there's no one else there to fill that void. Chris Moore, Chris Conley. It's Nico Collins going to be wide receiver 1 unless, they draft someone or.
They will. I mean, they will. But
yeah, they will.
I think he's going to play a role. So, yeah. I like him. I like him as a prospect. He looked good. So, yeah, sure. All right, a lot of questions. So, in RB2 and a flex, so do you start Dearness Johnson tonight and play either Mitchell or Gibson on Sunday? If I bench Dearness and Gibson doesn't play, I'll have to go with Mitchell and Bateman. So we talked about all of this already with Johnson and Bateman. So we basically answered this question. I would just go with Mitchell and I guess Gibson. And if Gibson doesn't play, then I'm fine going Bateman and just leaving D'Ernest Johnson out.
Yeah, you got to risk it.
It's a little bit complicated. Did I hear that Justin Fields' reason for missing? Oh, I blasted Justin Fields for that on a previous show already. So I won't give you the same. I won't give the same rant a second time. But I will say that whatever the reason does not matter. Unacceptable. Unacceptable for an NFL starting quarterback to miss that throw. It's that simple. I do not care if you're a rookie. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable. He needed to throw that touchdown. Not good enough. Not good enough. Andy Dalton throws that touchdown. And if that's what we're saying, then it's unacceptable.
I think overall, like looking back at the rookie drafts, like Justin Fields is a concern now because you picked Justin Fields basically over everyone not named Trevor Lawrence.
102 probably, or 103.
103. So you still picked him over Pitts, who's, Flash, Chase, who's the wide receiver 5, Najee Harris, who's a top 5 running back right now.
I know.
Like, it's concerning.
You gave up on the Dynasty tight end 1, the Dynasty wide receiver top 3 in Chase, and Harris, who's probably a top 5 run. I mean, Chase and Harris are top 5 for everybody in Dynasty. And at least some people have them 1. And, Kyle Pitts is the clear Dynasty tight end 1. And some people took Fields over Lance, myself included. So you could have taken Fields 102. I would have. I'm glad I never did. Glad I never had that pick. I was fine trading it down because I didn't find the tier gap to be big. So, 102 was often not a pick that I made. But yeah, if you spent the 102 on Fields, you're really unhappy right now.
No, not even remotely. There's so many.
Well, I mean, the 3 positional players, the running back, wide receiver, and tight end you passed on are all worth more.
By a wide margin.
Pretty much, I would say so. Yeah, I would
at this point, which is crazy.
It is in Superflex that's the case, but it is.
You got to value your top studs like that.
Okay, so from Truby, this is a good question. What is going on with Gibson? Do I start Chuba over him, Gibson, or Javonte? These are a lot of different questions. One. The easy part, I think, is do you start Chuba over him? That is yes. Right? Yeah. That is an easy question. Yeah. Where do you have Chuba this week?
12.
Give me a number. I have him 11. So we're right in sync. Where do you have Gibson?
13.
Okay, I have Gibson at 24. So we don't agree.
No.
We don't agree. Yeah. No, I think Gibson's going to be completely ineffective. He looked completely ineffective last week. I didn't even think Gibson was going to play at all. I only ranked him this week because he returned to practice today, which I think is crazy.
That is nuts.
Like, how is he going to – there's just no way. I mean, as someone who's had stress fracture before, I talked about this on the other show, he cannot be effective with this stress fracture. There's just no way, and it's going to get worse every game he plays. So he's not going to be effective. I'm at 24. I don't want to play him at all. I mean, I'll play him if I have to. But I would go with Javonte over him. I don't want to play Gibson. I think he could just go out after 2 plays. He tries to go and then he can't do it. I can't play him unless I have to. Like I said, I have Gibson at 24. So there are options where I feel like I would have to play him, but I don't want to.
See, I'm one of those people that you gotta start your guys.
He's not a stud anymore. He never was. Some people think that he was.
I was one of those people.
He hasn't been all year. When has he been a stud? When has he delivered that one big? He had that one big catch for 73 yards. That's it. Other than that, what has he done? That's been so great.
That's nothing. Fair. But the people, the players I have behind him, I'd still rather take the chance on Gibson. I'd probably maybe move him down a couple spots, but that's about it.
You're risking a 0. I mean, what about really? I mean, what has he done? He's averaging 4 a carry. That's fine. I mean, he has 89 rushes in 6 games. That's fine. But he only has 12 receptions in 6 games, 2 a game. I mean, he has one reception for 73 yards. His total receiving yards is 119. So he had 73 of his 119 receiving yards in that one play. And now he's going to get more work. I mean, he looked horrible in week 6 after he suffered a setback on that injury. He does not look effective to me. There's just no way You cannot be effective with a stress fracture in your shin. How is he going to be a running back? How? I think what's going to happen is he's going to play like 3 plays. He's going to come out of the game, and then they're going to – honestly, why are they even letting him play? It's a lost season at this point for them. It's a lost season. He's injured. He's obviously not healthy. What they should do is they should shut him down. They have a week 9 bye. They should shut him down for these next 2 weeks in the week 9 bye and let him come back in week 10 when he's healthy. 3 weeks is not enough, really, for a stress fracture to heal, but it's not going to heal if you keep playing. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse every week. They cannot let him continue to play through this. I think that they have to step in here and take him out of the lineup. He's not going to be effective. He just can't possibly be.
That's fair.
I don't want to start him. I really do think it could be 1 play. See,
I'm okay with that risk. It's just how I play things.
You're risking it for little upside. If he were an RB1 this year, I would say risk it, but he hasn't been that. You're risking it for nothing. That's the issue. If you were risking it for someone who's been a consistent producer, I would risk it. But I don't risk it for guys who have just been okay. I don't want to start him. Personally.
Like I said, I'm okay with taking the risk. Probably going to move him down. I'd probably move him down like 3
13
spots.
is way too high. He's got to come down. All right. Pick 2 running backs. Elijah Mitchell, Darrell Williams, Mike Davis, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon.
Give me the first 2. Give me Mitchell and Williams.
Yeah. Mitchell and Williams. For sure. Pretty easy decision.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a redraft trade question from Steel Down 75. Would you trade Mike Davis for Dallas Goedert?
You mean the
Assume
most?
Hurts is Ertz. Would you trade Mike Davis for Dallas Goedert?
You mean the most consistent running back at putting up 10 points?
Oh my god.
I probably still would. If you don't have any tight ends, like you could do worse than Goddard.
Yeah, I mean you could definitely do worse, right?
Yeah, but I don't think you're getting anything more from Mike Davis at that position, especially.
Yeah. No, I agree. I take Goddard.
I'm not getting a top 6 guy. No way.
Half PPR. Renfro or take a chance on Bateman?
Ooh. I think Renfro is 5 spots higher for me. I go with Renfro.
Yeah, and play Renfro also. I love the matchup this week against the Eagles.
Yep. So
play
do
Renfro.
I. Sad face.
And then running back. Freeman, Gordon, or Booker on waivers?
I go Gordon.
Really? Not Booker?
Nah.
Booker at 17.
I have him at 25. The matchup's good, but I just don't know. I'm just not sold in the Giants' offense.
Well, the problem is that the Broncos matchup is not good.
It isn't good, but
and they're in such a 50-50 split. Now I'm back to Gordon ahead. I have Gordon at 21 and Javonte at 22. I have Booker at 17. I think the workload's more guaranteed. Look at Booker. They're not using really anyone else. I mean, they're using Elijah Penny as their backup. So I guess I'll go with Booker. Oh, Jesus.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, from Alex. Got Dalton Schultz on bye this week. Who would you recommend picking up and starting at tight end?
All right. That's a tough one.
I don't know who's out there. Who's out there that you can pick up? If I look at my rankings, if Ricky Seals-Jones is somehow still out there, I have him at tight end 9.
I don't think
He's
he
probably
is.
not, right?
No. After 2 solid weeks like that, no.
Zach Ertz, I have him 13. He could be out there in redraft.
It's potential. I mean,
I think that's
I
the
don't know.
best you're going to do.
It's the best. I mean, if those 2 aren't out there, maybe OJ Howard and just bank on him having another,
No, OJ Howard missed practice today.
He did. I missed that report. That's my bad.
And I don't know if Gronk is going to play. The Gronk injury has just gone on and on and on.
Yeah. I didn't rank him assuming he wasn't going to play.
I would just go with Zach Ertz, hopefully. If Zach Ertz isn't there, I'm willing to take a chance on Cole Kmet this week, I guess. Tight end's ugly. I hope Ricky Seals-Jones is out there.
Yeah. Maybe Mo Alley Cox and just hope he scores a touchdown.
Okay, so I have some news.
Oh, boy.
Odell Beckham Jr. will play in tonight's game. Will play. So Odell is in.
Wow.
I gotta tell you, I did not expect that.
I didn't expect that either.
I expected Odell to miss tonight's game. So he's in.
Yeah.
Landry is also in. He was activated. He will play. So now that presents a big issue.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, given what people are saying about these guys, about Odell, he seems fully healthy.
Wow. I heard it was just this morning was an uphill battle to play.
Yeah, but
wow.
Apparently he'll play. So, to me, what that means is you cannot play Donovan Peoples-Jones. You can't. No. Not with Landry and Odell in. You cannot play Donovan Peoples-Jones. So I just moved the rankings just now. So with Odell in, I've moved Landry down to wide receiver 36. I've moved Odell. I did not expect him to play or have this kind of positive news, but I have Odell at wide receiver 40. I don't want to play him either. And I have Donovan Peoples-Jones down at wide receiver 56. So I absolutely do not want to play him.
Yeah.
And then also tight ends. This really, I'm losing any interest in a stream of Austin Hooper or David Njoku at this point. I have Hooper at 22 and Njoku at 23. I don't even know if I need to move them. They were so low.
I think I need to move Njoku down a little bit.
The one other thing this is changing for me is Demetric Felton is going to come down. Yeah. With Landry and Odell in, I don't think Felton's role, I mean, he's not going to have any role outside of the complementary back role. So I'm now moving Felton down to running back 40. I don't want to play him at all.
I'm just shocked.
Well, I just didn't expect Landry and Odell to play. Earlier in the week, I thought neither would play. And now today, I thought it was only Landry, and now it's both. So Felton is a no. Basically, for me, for the Browns, the whole offense is a no-go. You can play Landry if you absolutely have to. I have him at wide receiver 36, but that's not, some guys I have ahead of Landry that you might want to start. I have, I have Christian Kirk, and I'd rather just take a chance on Christian Kirk or Rondale Moore. I have them at 34 and 35. Mecole Hardman with Tyreek Hill kind of banged up. I have at 33. Tim Patrick and Tyler Boyd are a couple of other options that I would prefer to go with over Landry. Landry in his first game back with Odell in is not as exciting with Case Keenum. So against Denver. So I don't really want to start Landry at all.
No.
Now with Odell in, it's really become a mess here.
It's a big mess for fantasy tonight, except Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I don't even know if 56 is low enough for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't know how you can possibly start him.
I don't think he's startable in any formats.
No, you just
Dynasty redraft. DFS, he's not startable now because of the price increase from last week. So you don't even know if you don't even know what his snap share is going to be. I mean, you just have no idea who is going to. You just don't know really what anything is going to be like. So I would just like to avoid this entire game, really. Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. I don't think this is going to be a game that people are overly excited about for fantasy, and I'm going to lie.
No, people are going to call it a messy game about 8 minutes in.
The good news is that Mike Boone is inactive for the Broncos, so at least you don't have to worry about him getting 2 carries and even more, hurting our ceiling for Javonte and Melvin Gordon. So at least he's not playing. We can be thankful for that.
There's some positive news from fantasy.
I guess. I wouldn't say I'm super excited for it, but I don't know. It's all 12. Yeah, Evan Ingram didn't practice today. I wouldn't play him. Yeah, the wind didn't clear out. There's more wind, another bad thing. So I don't know. I'm not in on any of these players. I don't want to start.
I'm looking right now. Yeah, he's right. 37-mile-per-hour gusts.
Oh, man.
And it's supposed to be, at game time, a constant 20 miles an hour, it looks like.
But
that's nuts.
I think I'm going to start Sutton and Fant anyway.
I mean, Do you have like better options? Because I don't
You
think
probably
most teams do. Exactly.
And I'm just going to start him anyway. It is what it is. Who do you start, Boyd or Amon-Ra?
Boyd.
Boyd.
Joe Burrow's
Boyd did
better quarterback.
nothing last week, but I'll still start Boyd.
Sometimes you got to bet on your quarterback, and Burrow is way better than Jared Goff at this point. So
I have Boyd at 30.
I'm at 34.
So you can start him, but not exciting. All right. Dennis Johnson, Hines, Dillon, or take Mitchell off taxi. You should have taken Mitchell off taxi before. So it's Mitchell.
Yeah. Easy Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. Patrick, Dillon, or Carter?
Patrick, Dillon, or I'd probably go Tim Patrick.
Patrick. We're doing rapid fire. The Denver defense versus Cleveland or San Francisco defense versus the Colts?
Denver. I mean, especially with the weather forecast.
Yep.
It's going to be a messy game.
And pick 2 between Sutton, Hollywood, and Gibson?
Sutton and Hollywood.
Yep.
I'd still go them. Oh,
Denver defense tonight or the Saints on Monday against Seattle?
You gotta start Denver's defense.
No, I'll play the Saints against Seattle and Gino.
I just don't think there's gonna be like
Saints
any
defense is pretty good. Play the Saints. It's fine. It's fine.
Matchups.
Not a start sick question. Oh, another Dallas Goedert trade. Devonta Smith for Dallas Goedert.
I'm assuming this is he has Knox. No, keep Smith.
Yeah, I'd like to keep Smith. McLateral. Do you start Davis Mills or play a random backup quarterback and hope they get subbed in? Genuinely asking.
I love this question. I don't know where you have Davis Mills, but I have him
last. I have him last.
26. Yeah, 26. Yeah. So
honestly, I'm not sure between him and Taysom Hill for 26.
That's a good question. There's a legit argument there.
Yeah, there is. Davis Mills is the case where if I were in a super flex spot, I'd probably be looking for another option. I'd probably rather start a lot of flex-worthy wide receivers and running backs over him. But there's actually a few quarterbacks like that this week. I don't really want to – honestly, I don't want to start Case Keenum. Similar. So even Zach Wilson against the New England. I'd be fine looking for a non-quarterback option. But no, I wouldn't put in a random backup quarterback. I'd rather play Davis Mills over if it's a quarterback slot and that's all you have. Play Davis Mills. Very tough question. Khalil Herbert or Javonte Williams, my flex, half PPR?
Well, I'd go Javonte. They both have terrible
Javonte, but it's brutal because Damian Williams is unvaccinated. So it looks like it's going to be a real game time decision whether he's going to be ready for this Sunday's game. If we knew Damian Williams was not going to play, even against Tampa Bay, we would prefer Khalil Herbert. But if Damian Williams were in, it would be easily Javonte, especially with the win tonight. So I think I'm going to have to go with Javonte just because he's here now and, you know you're going to get points and anything could happen between now and Sunday. So I'll mitigate the risk and play Javonte. But, it's unfortunate. We're just not going to know. So I'll have to go with Javonte. But just keep that in mind.
That breakout game has to happen soon, right?
It will.
There's so many shades.
Tonight could be the night with Bridgewater hurting. They might lean on the run. Similar question. Javonte, Ramondre, Mike Davis, Elijah Mitchell?
Javonte and Elijah Mitchell.
Interesting. I'll actually go with Mike Davis and Elijah Mitchell. Like Mike Davis this week against the Dolphins. I think they're going to have to use him. Javonte, I like him, but I'd actually go with Mike Davis this week. I'm okay playing Mike Davis this week.
He's guaranteed 10 points at this point.
Yeah, no, I actually like that. I think he could get in the end zone this week against Miami. So I think this is going to be they might see a positive game script. All right, we'll do 2 more. Felton or Stevenson?
Stevenson, especially after the news.
Yeah, after the news that all the receivers are in, Felton is just not usable tonight. Stevenson for me. And then here, last one from Diet Donut. Javonte or Michael Carter?
Javonte
for me as well. I had Carter, I don't think I've read Carter's ranking on here. I have Carter at 28 and Javonte at 22. So among running backs. So it will be Javonte Williams. Okay, that's all the questions. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're watching this later, thanks for watching it later. We talked a lot of Dynasty. So hopefully, even if you didn't catch this in time for the Thursday night game, you still got some actionable advice. So yeah, tell the people one last time where they can find you.
They can find me at RyanPros_FF right here at the bottom for my occasional tweets and at the Fantasy Newsroom with Spencer and Matt Sunday mornings. And, we're ironing out that schedule. And then writing at the Dynasty Vipers. Always fun.
All right. Thanks for being my co-host once again. Thanks to everyone for
Anytime.
listening, and enjoy tonight's game.
Yeah. Peace.